This is a work of fiction. Any name similarities to real people, real companies, or anything or anyone else real is purely coincidental and should be treated as such. This is a fun cartoon, so please do not take it too seriously. Enjoy. Leviticus 18:22 Thou shalt not lie with mankind, as with mankind, it is abomination. KJV.
I love you, Chad. I love you too, Damien. Have you told your father about us yet? No, I doubt he would understand our relationship. He has always been ashamed of me and favored my elder brother more than me. He keeps making me feel guilty about being bisexual, and he keeps telling me that a pastor's son should not be this way. I tell him all the time I invited Jesus in and I am a Christian, but to him there is no such thing as a gay or bisexual Christian. Don't worry. I'm sure in time things will work out. If they don't though, no, I haven't seen my father in over 10 years, and I will be here for you even if your father continues to reject you just like my father has rejected me. You are the best, Chad. Isn't your brother Steve getting married in a few weeks from now? Do you want to tell your father about us after the wedding ceremony is over? I know it might not be the best time to tell him about us, but at least this way if I am with you when he hears the news about us we can help each other out, so if he cannot accept us, well, we do not have to accept him either, or at least not his criticism. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but okay, perhaps it is better not to face my father with this news alone. Since we are partners, he should get to know both of us well.
At Steve's wedding.
I'm so happy. My eldest son has gotten married.
I'm happy for Steve too, Dad. By the way, I have met someone.
Oh, tell me my prayers have been answered and you met a girl.
Oh well, not exactly. I met this great guy and we have been dating for 2 years. I know you might not like the sound of it at first, but Chad was really great, and I know you will like him too if you give him a chance. He was the one sitting next to me at the lunch table.
You dare forsake God to date a man? Have I not raised you better than that? I have told you time and time again that same-sex marriage is wrong, yet you continue to ignore me. Do you have any idea how embarrassing it is to be a pastor and have one of your sons turn gay? You disgust me.
There you go again, talking about how I shouldn't be gay because I am a pastor's kid. Sounds more to me like you aren't worried so much about me not honoring God, but rather how I am ruining your reputation. Look, I love Jesus, and for your information, I am not gay because I like both boys and girls. I'm bisexual. Deal with it. I love Chad very much, and he loves me, and we are going to get married someday. In fact, we are engaged. He popped the question a few months ago. In about a year's time you will have Chad as your son-in-law whether you like it or not, so you had better get used to him.
I will never let such sin come into my house. You talk about such disgusting things. You say you are bisexual, then why can't you at least find a woman? You are just choosing a man to insult me.
That is not true, you self-righteous jerk. Chad and I love each other, and that is all that matters. This conversation is over. I'm leaving.
Excuse me, but do you mind if I sit here?
No, not at all. Please be my guest.
Thank you. I appreciate your kindness.
You know there is a cat on your head, right?
You mean Mr. Mittens? Don't worry, he is harmless. Pastor Dan, can I open up to you about one of your recent sermons?
Sure, I would be delighted.
You taught a powerful sermon about the importance of a father's love, and without kids can eventually turn away from God and try things they shouldn't be doing, such as excessive drinking, participating in orgies, having premarital sex, having kids out of wedlock, gender confusion, and forsaking the normal to pursue the strange. I agree that children need to know they are loved by their biological father, because if they don't have that love it can lead to the worst low self-esteem of them all, and some might even commit suicide. Of course, God wants everyone to know He loves them very much, and does not want those horrible things to happen.
Yes, but I am not sure I understand what you are wanting to ask me with that.
Does your son Damien know you love him?
Well, what kind of question is that? Of course he knows I love him.
Does he really? When was the last time you told him you loved him? 7 years ago, right?
How in the world did you know that? She's gone. She just vanished into thin air. Am I hallucinating, or did I just see an angel? In either case, I am going to invite Damien back to my house and tell him I love him. Hey Damien, I just want you to know that no matter what, from here on out I love you and I am proud of you.
Please, Dad, forgive me if I am a little skeptical. You have always liked Steve over me because he was good at sports, but I like fashion and you had no interest in my interests, but Steve you paid attention to.
I don't blame you for being skeptical, but I do love you and am proud of you.
Does that mean you will come to Chadland my wedding? Better yet, why don't you marry us?
I'm sorry, son. I can't do that because that would go against God. However, after you two get married, you both are welcome anytime in my house from now on. Look, I can't support things like premarital sex, being transgender, or same-sex marriages, but that does not mean I cannot love people who are like that. I don't embrace any sinful lifestyle, but you choosing to be bisexual isn't for me to judge. That is Jesus' job, not mine.
I don't agree with everything you just said, but this is a great start to a new beginning.
A few months later.
I'm so happy to see you, Chad. I'm happy to see you too, Damien. Can you believe we will be getting married here later? It always seemed like such a dream, and now my dad actually likes me. I'm glad your dad came around to us in his own way, even if my father didn't. That's one thing I wanted to talk to you about. Look, you have been great, but with my father finally giving me the love I so desperately needed, I have lost interest in men in that way. I'm sorry, Chad, but I don't think we should get married. I don't want to lead you on. I love you, but not in that way anymore. What? Your father has gone to you, hasn't he? Okay, fine. You don't want to marry me, then fine. Story of my life. First, my father hates me for being gay, and now you tell me you can't marry me. I'm out of here, man. I'm sorry, I will pray for the both of us.
Is everything okay, son?
No, Chad left me completely alone because I told him I couldn't marry him because I didn't have those kind of feelings for him anymore.
You seem to love him very much. What made you not interested in him in that way anymore?
Well, I think it was because for the first time in my life I finally felt loved by you, Dad, when I hadn't before. It had been said that when President JFK died that the media asked Jacqueline Kennedy how she felt about how many times he cheated on her. She said, his mom never loved him. Some say some women become prostitutes because they never felt the love of their dad, so they chase that love by chasing after other men, when really only their dad can give them that type of love. For me, I think I was attracted to guys because I didn't feel loved by you, Dad. I honestly believe the media has it backwards. They teach dads hate their sons because they are gay, but really people become gay because they don't believe their dads truly love them. That's how it was for me anyway, and it may not be the same for everyone. But Chad told me he had a bad relationship with his father as well.
Let's pray for him, son.
A few years later.
I'm happy to see you, Damien. You are not mad at me anymore? No, things are great now. I know you prayed for me. About 1 year ago I patched up things with my dad. I have a very healthy relationship with him now. The more I felt loved by my biological father, the more I started getting less and less attracted to guys. The same thing that happened to you. I am so glad God got involved in my life. I think well-meaning churches do not handle homosexuality the right way. You have conservative churches that just say homosexuality is wrong, and people who are homo or bisexual do not feel safe, so they stay away from churches like that. Then you have liberal churches that say it is okay to be this way, because that is how they were born, and because of this they allow the sin of same-sex marriage in their churches. Unless it is forced marriage as a choice. Imagine the difference it would make if instead of dividing churches from who is liberal and who is conservative, they joined forces, and the liberal side said we will love you no matter what, and then the conservative side said and we will help you get to the source of your problem no matter what. Then people prayed for others to have a healthy relationship with their biological parents, then mothers would also have better relationships with their daughters, and some would turn away from being lesbians, while females with restored relationships with their dads would turn away from prostitution. If other same-sex couples had issues with their biological dads like we did, I think it is possible that when God says he hates it when two males have sex with each other, I believe the ones that were doing those things in biblical times felt loved by their earthly dads, and since God is a good father, every time the ones in the Bible who were male and sleeping with other males, I believe their earthly dads misrepresented God to them and they saw him in the wrong light because of that. I see so much hatred towards people who are gay or think differently at church, and I think to myself, okay, you want people to stop being gay, then pray for them to have a better relationship with their biological parents, because 9 times out of 10 being gay is caused by parental rejection. I'm so glad to have Jesus on our side. We may not have gotten married, but we got something we were really after, the love of our biological fathers.